The late 11th century witnessed a seismic event in the history of Christendom, the First Crusade. From 1095 to 1099, European armies, driven by religious fervor and the promise of salvation, marched east to wrest the Holy Land from Muslim control. This monumental struggle culminated in the capture of Jerusalem, a victory that reverberated throughout Europe. For the devout Christian pilgrim, the journey to Jerusalem was more than a physical trek. It was a pilgrimage of the soul, a quest for spiritual purification. Every step taken on the dusty roads of the Levant resonated with biblical significance. In the year 1119, a mere 2 decades after the First Crusade, a small group of French knights led by Hugues de Payens, a nobleman from Champagne, took a solemn vow. Their mission was as straightforward as it was daunting: to protect Christian pilgrims journeying to and from the Holy Land. The Knights Templar, in their infancy, were a far cry from the powerful and wealthy order they would later become. Their ranks were small, their resources meager, and their influence limited. Their headquarters, while symbolically significant, offered little in the way of comfort or defense. Section 2. Guardians of the Road, the Templars' mission takes shape. As the Templars' reputation for bravery and piety grew, so too did their understanding of their mission. Protecting pilgrims from bandits was paramount, but the Templars recognized a broader purpose at play. They saw themselves as guardians of Christendom's eastern frontier, a bulwark against the forces that threatened the very existence of the Crusader states. Section 3. From Rags to Recognition, Bernard of Clairvaux and the Rise of the Templar. The Templars' early successes, however, would have amounted to little without the recognition and support of a powerful ally, Bernard of Clairvaux. Bernard, a man of immense piety and influence, recognized in the Templars a force that could be harnessed for the greater good of Christendom. Section 1. A Papal Blessing, the Templars at the Council of Troyes. The year 1129 marked a pivotal turning point in the nascent history of the Knights Templar. This year would forever be etched in the annals of history, as the moment when the Templars began their transformation from a small band of warrior monks into a powerful and influential military order. The Council of Troyes, a gathering of high-ranking church officials, presided over by Pope Honorius II, convened in the French city of Troyes with a weighty agenda. This council was not just any ordinary meeting, it was a significant ecclesiastical assembly that would shape the future of Christendom. The presence of such esteemed clerics underscored the importance of the decisions to be made. Among the matters at hand was the consideration of a fledgling order of warrior monks, the Knights Templar, who had journeyed from the distant Holy Land seeking official recognition from the Church. These knights, who had dedicated their lives to protecting Christian pilgrims and defending the Holy Land, were now seeking the Church's blessing to formalize their order. Their journey to Troyes was fraught with challenges, but their resolve was unwavering. The Templars presented their case with fervor, detailing their mission, their sacrifices, and their unwavering commitment to the Christian cause. The council listened intently, weighing the merits of granting official recognition to this nascent order. The decision made at the Council of Troyes would not only legitimize the Templars, but also set the stage for their rise to prominence in medieval Europe. This moment marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of the Knights Templar, one that would see them become one of the most powerful and enigmatic orders of the medieval world. The Council of Troyes, swayed by Bernard's eloquence and the Templars' own growing reputation, delivered a momentous decision: the official recognition of the Knights Templar as a holy military order of the Catholic Church. This recognition came at a price, however, one that the Templars readily embraced. They would live their lives according to a strict code of conduct, the Templar Rule, a document that would govern every aspect of their existence. Papal recognition proved to be a transformative moment in the history of the Knights Templar. No longer a band of impoverished knights operating on the fringes of the Holy Land, the Templars emerged from the Council of Troyes as a force to be reckoned with, Donations poured in from across Christendom, fueled by the Church's endorsement and the growing tales of the Templars' bravery and piety. At the heart of the Templar Order's emergence stood Hugues de Payens, a figure whose name has become synonymous with the very essence of knighthood. His legacy is not just one of martial prowess, but of a deep, unwavering commitment to a cause greater than himself. Born into a noble family in the Champagne region of France around 1070, Hugues was raised amidst the chivalric traditions and values that would later define his life. The lush landscapes and fortified castles of Champagne were his playground, and it was here that he first learned the codes of honor and duty. Hugues answered the call to the First Crusade as a young man, driven by a fervent desire to serve his faith and protect the Christian pilgrims who faced countless dangers on their journey to the Holy Land. The call to arms was not just a summons to battle, but a spiritual quest that resonated deeply within him. His heart stirred by the prospect of reclaiming the Holy Land for Christendom, Hugues embarked on this perilous journey with a band of like-minded knights. They were not just warriors, but men of faith, bound by a sacred mission to defend the holy sites and protect the innocent. It was during his time in the East, amidst the arid deserts and ancient cities, that Hugues witnessed the harsh realities of the Crusades. The perils were many, and the path was fraught with danger, but it was also a time of profound spiritual awakening for him. Witnessing firsthand the perils faced by pilgrims journeying to Jerusalem, Hugues was moved by their plight. The treacherous roads, the threat of bandits, and the harsh conditions made the pilgrimage a daunting endeavor. It was in these moments of vulnerability that Hugues' vision for a protective brotherhood began to take shape. The seeds of the Templar Order were sown in the crucible of these experiences. Hugues, along with a small group of fellow knights, took solemn vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. They dedicated themselves to the protection of pilgrims and the defense of the Holy Land, laying the foundation for what would become one of the most revered and legendary orders of knighthood in history. André de Montbard, a pillar of faith and strategy. While Hugues de Payens provided the leadership and vision that guided the Templar Order in its formative years, another figure played a pivotal role in shaping the Order's character and influence. André de Montbard. A nobleman from Burgundy, André was not only a skilled warrior, but also a man of deep faith and intellect. He joined the Templars in its infancy, becoming one of the original 9 knights who swore the Order's sacred vow alongside Hugues de Payens. The Templar Code, forging warriors of God. The Knights Templar, though renowned for their martial prowess, were more than mere soldiers. They were warriors of God, their lives governed by a strict code of conduct, the Templar rule, that shaped them into an elite force, unlike any other in medieval Christendom. The rule, inspired by the Cistercian Order's emphasis on austerity and discipline, transformed the knights' daily lives into a reflection of their spiritual commitment. Soldiers of Christ, the spiritual foundation of the Templars. The Knights Templar, though forged in the fires of warfare, were not merely soldiers driven by earthly ambitions or a thirst for glory. They were warriors with a divine mission, a sacred duty that transcended the mortal realm. Their battles were not just against flesh and blood, but against the very forces of darkness that they believed threatened the sanctity of the Holy Land. At their core, they were deeply spiritual men, their lives defined by a profound sense of faith and a belief that they were fighting God's war on earth. This spiritual conviction was the bedrock of their existence, guiding their every action and decision. They saw themselves as the earthly instruments of divine will, chosen to protect the pilgrims and the sacred sites of Christianity. Their vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, far from being mere formalities, were outward manifestations of an inner transformation, a commitment to renounce worldly desires and dedicate their lives to a higher purpose. These vows were taken with utmost seriousness, symbolizing a complete surrender to the divine plan. Poverty meant they owned nothing, chastity kept their hearts pure, and obedience ensured they followed the will of their superiors, and ultimately, God. This commitment to a higher purpose was not just a personal journey, but a collective one. The Templars lived in communities, bound by their shared faith and mission. Their monasteries were places of prayer, reflection, and preparation for the battles ahead. In these sacred spaces, they found the strength and resolve to face the challenges of their time. The Templars' spiritual foundation was the cornerstone of their identity, shaping them into the legendary warriors of faith that history remembers. The Knights Templar, though renowned for their military prowess, led lives that were a stark contrast to the extravagance and indulgence often associated with medieval knighthood. Their existence was governed by the Templar rule, a strict code of conduct that emphasized austerity, discipline, and the renunciation of worldly pleasures. In many ways, their lifestyle mirrored that of monastic orders, with a strong emphasis on prayer, contemplation, and communal living. The Knights Templar, in their distinctive white mantles emblazoned with the blood-red cross, became iconic figures of the medieval world, their appearance a powerful symbol of the Order's unique blend of martial prowess and spiritual devotion. The white mantle, a symbol of purity and chastity, represented the Templars' renunciation of worldly desires and their commitment to a life of spiritual service. The Knights Templar, even during their relatively short lifespan, became shrouded in an aura of mystery and intrigue, their name whispered in hushed tones throughout the courts and taverns of medieval Europe. Their secretive nature, their vast wealth, and their exploits in the distant and exotic Holy Land fueled speculation and gave rise to a rich tapestry of legends and lore. One of the most enduring legends surrounding the Knights Templar concerns their alleged guardianship of sacred relics, objects of immense religious and historical significance said to have been hidden within the bowels of Solomon's Temple. The Templars, headquartered in what was believed to be the former site of the temple, were rumored to have discovered these relics during their excavations beneath the Temple Mount, their access to these subterranean depths fueling speculation about their true nature and purpose. Centuries after their dramatic downfall, the Knights Templar continued to exert a powerful hold on the imagination, their story a captivating blend of history, legend, and enduring mystery. Their sudden rise to prominence, their vast wealth and influence, and their abrupt and brutal suppression by the very forces that had once championed their cause, all contribute to their enduring allure. By the mid-12th century, the Knights Templar, once a humble band of 9 knights dedicated to protecting pilgrims, had transformed into a powerful and influential force within Christendom. Their unwavering faith, their strict adherence to their monastic code, and their formidable military prowess had earned them a reputation that extended far beyond the dusty roads of the Holy Land. They had become guardians of the faith, protectors of the pilgrimage routes, and a vital component of the Crusader defenses against the forces that threatened Christian control of Jerusalem. The Templars' influence extended far beyond the battlefield, leaving an enduring mark on medieval society that transcended their military role. Their commitment to charity and their establishment of hospitals and way stations along the pilgrimage routes provided much-needed aid to the sick, the poor, and the weary travelers seeking solace in the Holy Land. Their actions reflected a deep-seated belief in the importance of compassion and service, principles that lay at the heart of their faith. Despite their significant contributions to medieval society, the Knights Templar remain an enigma, their story a captivating blend of historical fact and enduring legend. Their sudden and dramatic downfall, orchestrated by the avaricious King Philip IV of France, who coveted their wealth and sought to eliminate their influence, only added to their mystique. The accusations leveled against them, heresy, blasphemy, idolatry, though likely fabricated to justify their persecution, fueled speculation about their true beliefs and practices.